Hey guys, happy Saturday. I thought I would share a couple of different things that have been going on this week with you guys, as I like to keep you guys informed, as you know. And yeah, there's kind of been some changes to plan with what I'm going to be doing going forwards. So I will obviously fill you in on that. And I had a really cool delivery. Well, not really cool delivery. It was exciting for me because I love anything sports gear related. So I might as well show you. But I got some new Nike. I did get black. They're Nike Flyknits because they were much needed. If you saw my other trainers, they are a disaster. They're pretty much falling to pieces, and where I spend most of my time in like gym gear and trainers and stuff like that. Obviously it's not ideal when there's holes in them and whatnot, but anyway, the main news I wanted to talk about today was basically the fact that I've decided that I'm not going to compete this year. Now this is for a number of reasons. Firstly, because the whole situation that's going on in the world at the moment. It's really tricky because the competitions are, well, there's lots of different competitions, different federations, but none of them are really happening until at least September, which is fine. But what I'm worried about is they may end up cancelling them because of the current situation that's going on. And it is a massive financial investment to compete. It's very expensive, especially as I need to get like a bikini, a suit for my routine, all the makeup, all the tanning, competition entry, membership, federation, which I don't currently have, which I didn't realise for this federation I was going to do, you have to have. Coaching, obviously all the food is quite expensive, and also the fact that it's very difficult at the moment because I can't actually train in the gym. So normally I'd be doing a lot of weight training and my sessions are very much body weight training, which is fine, but it's not quite the same when you're competing, trying to work on different muscle groups. It's quite difficult without slightly heavier weight sometimes. You know, obviously you can adapt and it's fine for handstand training because you don't need equipment, but for when you're looking at competing in a bodybuilding sport, it's quite difficult. So I am really sad about it in some ways, but what I've decided to do instead is I'm still going to pretty much like prep and get in really good shape. And my aim is still probably like 51 kg, so I've got like maybe 2-3 kg to go. But I think what I'm going to get ready for is a photo shoot. So I would do a photo shoot at the end of the summer instead of competing, and you guys will obviously get an insight into still my bikini prep because it would be a similar process, but obviously without the added pressure of competing at the end, the financial stress of a lot that you have to pay for, and the uncertainty that it might not even happen. So that's kind of my decision. It is, you know, I wanted to make it fairly early on so it didn't impact the rest of my summer and I didn't already kind of invest in these things. Yeah, but that's the main news really on that front. So yeah, it is sad, but I'm still going to continue to do the bikini prep series, just not compete but do it because I might go on holiday somewhere and then I want a photo shoot, so it's still beneficial to do. And this next week I have some exciting tutorials that I will be doing based on like flexibility and handstands. I also might start a new flexibility follow along because a lot of you guys are asking me about like lots of different flexibility things at the moment, so it might be really beneficial to do an actual follow along series. Like I did for my handstand one, I'll link like one of the handstand ones below, because there's a whole 41 episodes of that. So if you are, you know, looking to do handstands, actually it's flexibility as well, handstands and flexibility, then I did a whole 41 episodes for the beginning of the isolation period. But that is that news, and yeah, it's been a pretty productive week, just getting stuff done, and now the weather is finally better in the UK, so that's all. Also, I did a question thing on Instagram about handstands and flexibility, and I got some quite interesting responses, so I also thought I would let you guys see some of the responses.
This morning I thought I would ask me a handstand or flexibility question, as I always get some interesting responses. So yeah, if you have something that you want to know about handstands and flexibility, let me know and I will answer it. Training pretty much none. I've been super lucky, but then I do a lot of strength training as well, like core conditioning and stuff. Through gymnastics, yes, I broke and dislocated my arm when I was about 11, I think, at an international competition, which wasn't great. Various exercises you can do for this. So firstly, I would start doing PNF stretching, laying on your back, lifting your leg up to where you can, and then you're resisting into your hand. And then after that, I would also start doing things like pike fall, teardrop, back bend. I would suggest become as flexible as you can with your back mobility. Because if you don't have that range of motion at the moment, it's going to be very difficult to get into the full position. I cannot remember. It was such a long time ago that I first did my press. God, maybe like 6 months, maybe a year, maybe longer. I don't think it was that long though. That's a really difficult question to answer because each person's going to be completely different. Obviously it will depend on your current ability, your genetics, lots of different factors. So I can't really answer that, unfortunately. So the fastest way to learn splits, consistency is key. Make sure you are practicing like a lunge sequence every day if you can, or at least like 3 days a week, and they will start to improve. Get pins and needles, and it's normally the irritation of like a compressed nerve, and that's normally okay. If it actually gets painful around like the tendon insertions, then you need to be quite careful because you don't want to cause tendon damage. Thank you very much, and obviously have an amazing day too. The biggest thing for me is my back mobility. I just naturally have a super duper flexible like lumbar spine, so anything which is kind of back related is very easy for me. I suggest doing, firstly, if you've got like a foam roller, then place it on like the thoracic part of your back, so the upper back, and then bring your arms back and start to lower them kind of down to the ground, and that's going to stretch your upper back. Also, if you've got like a raised surface, about 15 to 20 minutes, like 4 to 5 days a week. Like your current level of flexibility, because being fit doesn't mean you are flexible, and obviously I am extremely flexible. Not many people, even with a lot of consistent training, could get to my level of flexibility. So yeah, it just depends on lots of different factors really. Start to work on your finger position, so then that's going to help you or prevent you from falling forwards. And number 4, start to visualize. I think that's really important. If you can visualize like 3 handstands before you go to bed, then that's going to help you feel more confident. There's a couple of different things you can do to improve wrist mobility. Number 1 is like controlled articular rotations. So you want to kind of like lock your elbow into your waist and then isolate the wrist joint and circle the wrist. And then number 2 would be like wrist rocks. So this morning I thought I would ask me a handstand or flexibility question, as I always get some interesting responses. So yeah, if you have something that you want to know about handstands and flexibility, let me know and I will answer it. I was like naturally very flexible, but then I did do gymnastics for like 9 years, and we would train like flexibility, I guess 30 minutes to an hour a day, most days, obviously. So for wrist rocks, you want to have your hands on a flat surface and then basically like rock the weight forwards. So hand facing forwards, rock the weight forwards, and then you can actually try and lift the fingers off, keeping the knuckles on the ground. It's personal to me, so I wouldn't necessarily suggest that you do the same. It does depend on, you know, things like your current ability, what you're working on, and yeah, there's lots of different factors which go into, you know, how much time you want to spend on flexibility. Top tip for building up handstand control: firstly, use the fingers. Make sure you're building up your fingertip strength and also your wrist strength. And secondly, make sure you are using your core and working on core strength as well. A chair or something like that, then just pop your hands or elbows on the chair and then press your kind of thoracic spine down to the ground, and that's going to help stretch as well. No, I've been very lucky and I have not got injured from stretching. So yeah, I do focus a lot on strength work though, and I think that's really helped with injury prevention. To be honest, I always forget to do this triple fold thing. I think I've tried it like once, and I wasn't really quite sure what I was doing, so I will actually try it again at some point, and I will film it and then yeah, you can see if I've mastered it or not. So my morning was really good and my afternoon was pretty good as well. So if you're new to mobility, then I would start doing like 20 to 30 minutes of stretching, like a general kind of stretch, 2 to 3 times a week if you can. And you know, just pick a time of day and try and stay consistent. I'm pretty sure if that's the question. That's kind of like a bit open-ended. Middle split contortion. Obviously I can do like middle split over middle split. So yeah, I'm not really sure what the context is. I guess it's quite possible I could be made of rubber. I mean, obviously you've then got the issue of how I actually walk, but yeah, I guess anything's possible. Make sure you are building up fingertip strength and using your fingertips for your handstand to find the balance. And then also you're building up core strength, and make sure you have a slight posterior pelvic tilt in your handstand. Make sure it's not painful. It should just be kind of obviously that stretching sensation. If it's leading to pain, then you should stop, and you want to just ease into each stretch, like very gradually. So both are beneficial, and I would also add in ballistic stretching and PNF stretching, and yeah, like functional range movement. And there's so many different kinds of stretching that are really beneficial to do. Just try and do like so at the moment I'm spending like 15 to 20 minutes on flexibility about 4 to 5 days a week, and I'm alternating between like splits and back bends, and then some days if I'm doing like needles and back scales and stuff, then I might combine both. You can deal with like fear of falling and handstand. So number 1, work on like proprioception response in your handstand position, so then you'll feel more confident. Number 2, start to work on your bailout, so like cartwheels out of it. Number 3, you can start to work. Yeah, so just a quick little video today, and I hope you guys have enjoyed my little update. And continue to follow my bikini prep series, and you know, obviously what I'm doing. I really do appreciate you all following and the increase in subscribers that I've had, and the training videos seem to be super popular, so I will obviously continue to do those because I am always training. But please subscribe to the channel if you're not already, give this video a thumbs up, and see you for my next video.